All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Today is snowing outside. It's cool outside, so we kind of want something to warm us up. So today we're going to make some chicken noodle soup. As you can see here, we got everything all chopped up. We got some garlic, we got some ginger, some fresh thyme, some parsley, bell pepper, celery, onion, carrot, some broccoli florets that we're going to turn into florets, frozen mixed vegetables, some pasta. I would advise any shape you want, just as long as it's small. You want something that's going to fit onto a spoon because this is soup after all. We got a little crushed red pepper because, my kids have been sick, so we kind of want to get that nose running. We got a roasted whole chicken here that I roasted in the oven myself. We're going to take all of this off the bone. You can do this yourself as well with a rotisserie chicken if you buy one from your local grocer. So, to get started, we're actually going to use the fat from this chicken. As you can see, it's kind of floating on the top there. You don't want anything to go to waste. Plus, fat equals flavor. So, if you happen to use the rotisserie chicken, you could just use olive oil to saute your vegetables with. In this case, we're going to use the fat off of this chicken. In this pot, we've got our vegetable sauteing in the reserved fat from the roasted chicken. I added a little fresh thyme. There's no need to pull the leaves off the sprigs. Just add them in there to saute. The leaves will fall off, and you can pull the stems out after the cooking process is over. I pulled off the pieces of meat from the chicken. I'm going to shred that up. We're going to turn the broccoli into florets, and then we're going to add all of this eventually to our soup. With your vegetables, you don't want them to brown, you just more so want them to sweat, which is why you salt them. If you want to brown or caramelize onions, you wouldn't salt them. You would just cook them in the oil so that they brown. So we also want to add in our dried herbs. Dried herbs are meant to be added at the beginning, and fresh herbs tend to be used toward the end. So this is just a little dried poultry seasoning, it's not just for Thanksgiving. I would use it basically on poultry because that's what it's for. So I tend to use it a lot. It gives it that flavor that, what is that? That homey, home-cooked taste. So we just got our dried herbs sauteing in here. We've shredded up our chicken. I use the dark meat because you can cook it a long time and not have to be worried about it being dry. The breast I would probably use for some chicken salad. My family likes chicken salad. And we'll chop up our fresh parsley to be added at the end. The broccoli has been thoroughly washed and chopped into smaller pieces. And the mixed vegetables, you can just throw those right in. Now that our vegetables are translucent, we're going to go ahead and add some liquid. So this is our reserved cooking liquid, juices, drippings from our roasted chicken that we're just going to add right in there. In addition to that, we're going to add another 2 cups of water. Most people use boxed chicken stock when they make soups. For me, I find that there may be a time where I may not use the entire box and then it goes bad in my fridge. So what we use in my house is chicken base. So you can find this on the same aisle you find the chicken stock. It's called Better Than Bouillon. They sell chicken and they sell beef. So we're going to use the chicken one today to add additional flavor to our soup. This is what it looks like here. And there's a recipe on here that tells you it's 1 teaspoon equals an 8-ounce can. So basically we're going to use about a teaspoon, and we'll add additional salt if necessary. So we're just going to allow this to come to a boil. And as you can see, it's boiling. So we're going to get our chicken in. And it looks like we need a little more water. So we're going to add another 2 cups to this. Because remember, our pasta's got to cook. So the pasta is also going to add body to the soup. So we're going to add an additional 2 cups of water. And we're going to add about a cup of pasta. Like I said, I have some mini pasta here. Let's do 2. There's no exact science to soup. With most cooking, you kind of got to improvise and make adjustments as you go along. It's not like baking. Baking is extremely precise. We're not going for the precise here. So we're going to just let this come to a boil. Let our pasta cook.
2, 1.
All right, so we're going to add a couple teaspoons of the Better Than Bouillon to the water. Just going to allow that to dissolve. It's the same as if you added quarter chicken stock in here, or if you were to add it. And we wouldn't need as much Better Than Bouillon because we had our leftover chicken drippings, which were probably also seasoned. You don't want to over season. So we just want a little bit of flavor, and then if, of course, we need to season to taste, we can later on. We're going to also get our veggies in. And these you're just going to warm up. That's all we're doing. We're just warming them up. A couple handfuls, 3 handfuls maybe. I like a lot of veggies in my soup. And we're also not going to add our broccoli just yet because the pasta still has to cook. We don't want to overcook our pasta, and we also don't want to overcook our broccoli. So we're just going to let this come to a boil, and then we're going to add in our broccoli. Check our seasoning. As you can see, our soup has come to a boil. So being that it's boiling, we're going to go ahead and add in our broccoli. Make sure you thoroughly wash broccoli. There's lots of hidden dirt in there. And you don't have to use broccoli. Just make it your own. You know, if you got a little frozen spinach in there, you can add that at the end. A little kale. Whatever your favorite veggie is. In this household, it happens to be broccoli. We got our parsley chopped over here. So we can add that at the end. You'll have that little greenery running through it. You'll look like a real star with those fresh herbs floating on the top. At this point as well, we want to check and adjust our seasoning. See if we need some more salt, some more pepper. Again, you season to your liking. So we're going to give it a little taste. Needs a little more salt, so I'm just going to add a little in. A little pepper. We're just going to let this boil probably for an additional 5 minutes or so. Our pasta should be just about there.
One.
Alright, so our pasta is done. Our broccoli is perfectly cooked. I don't like it really crunchy in a soup, but I also don't want it like cooked to death where it's changed colors. So as you can see, it's still green, and it's probably just tender, which is kind of the way I like it. So now that we're all done, we're just gonna add our parsley in. Turn it off. And with all good dishes, you want to let them stand for 5 minutes. So we're going to let this stand for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to serve it up. You also want to remove those thyme stems you added. They've given off all the flavor that they were going to give. And of course, we don't want anybody pulling up a giant stem out of their bowl. That's not really pleasant. So, just going to take that out. And that's chicken noodle soup. Easy peasy.